Humans have for a long time, in a variety of different ways, come to believe something that is so off that it keeps you separated from the power and the joy of your now. So many humans believe that they came from that which is source and that they will return to that which is source. But they have no sense of how source is present with you out here on this leading edge, and that this leading edge is the leading edge of all creation. Somehow you've convinced yourselves, and it is illogical that you've come to the conclusion. You've convinced yourself that you are separate from that which is source, and that you're somehow needing to prove some sort of worthiness. And that in time, if you're good enough, you will return to that which is source. And that's really where it's all going on. But friends, that non-physical realm is not really where it's all going on. This is the leading edge. This time-space reality, this leading edge manifested source energy is the leading edge. The reason that so many have come to believe in the unworthiness of human, in the imperfection, in the needing to be judged and straightened out, and in the redemption of humans. The reason that so many have come to believe that is because when you want stuff and it's not happening, you got to fill in the blanks somehow. And most humans fill in those blanks by saying, I'm not being blessed because I must have done something wrong. I'm not being rewarded because I must be inappropriate in some way. And nothing could be further from what is really going on. You're just not letting it in because you're feeling unworthy. You're just not letting it in because you're feeling too angry. You're just not letting it in because you're not joining the source in your powerful now. And when you do, so now let's talk about this grid in this new, more pointed way. So you follow us that the leading edge is out here where you are, yes? All forward, right here in your powerful now. So here you are in your powerful now, taking the time to establish an emotional grid that feels good. You feel peaceful, you feel satisfied, you feel good, you feel a little frisky. You feel full of yourself, you feel love, you feel in love, you feel good, you feel good. You feel good. Now, the reason you feel good is because you're not keeping all of that out. You feel good because you're allowing it all present, and you've been doing it for a while. And so you've got this good feeling pointed grid going on right here in your now, 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 dovetailing with ideas and other people. Your now point rendezvousing with all those things. You see, because you're not ever going to get it done. So when your goal is a house or a lover or a car or a pile of money or all of those things that are wonderful, we wish all of those for you. But when your goal is one of those things, rather than your goal is right now, the grid, how you feel. When your goal is the grid, when your goal is how you feel, when your goal is your point of attraction, when your goal is your rendezvous point, now you're rendezvousing with source. Now you're rendezvousing with ideas. Now when you're writing a song, clarity comes. Now when you're writing a song, brilliant songwriters play with you. Now when you're dancing a dance, your ability to dance is there. All of the inspiration. Can you feel how much more productive that powerful now is than any other thing that you might put on any vision board? But the vision board all comes along with it. Talk about a ball in a hole. You see, that powerful now. And now, and now, and now, and now, and now. Not just someday, not just later, now. Right now I'm clear-minded and I'm thrilled with what I just thought. Right now I'm clear-minded and I'm thrilled with what you just said about what I just thought. Esther was on the airplane, and she's been carrying a little notebook, and she's been writing grid words. She'd written a page of grid words. She's just sitting there feeling well-being and satisfied. And she hears Jerry say, clearly, open your window. She had closed it because the sun was bright. Open your window on the airplane. So she opened her window, and she looked down, and there was a rainbow down there. So she knew, it was such a wonderful moment. She knew that she'd established a grid, and she knew that she'd rendezvoused with Jerry. Nothing better than that for her. She watched it. It lasted about 10 seconds. And then she sat back up, and Esther is against one window, and Jeannie is next to her, and a stranger is next to Jeannie, and a happy stranger. And across the aisle is Mark. And at that moment, Mark says, Esther. The stranger said, Esther. Jeannie said, Esther. We have Wi-Fi on the plane. Wouldn't it be cool to put something on Facebook? Esther knew exactly what she wanted to say. Rendezvous, 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 rendezvous. Within a few minutes, 1,000 people, rendezvous, 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 rendezvous. You see, this is a time of rendezvousing like never before. You have never had more access to more. You've never had more access to more people, to more ideas, to more pleasure, to more things, to more experiences. Never before. This is the leading edge of all of that. And when you take the time to establish your emotional grid, then all that is non-physical, all that you care about, physical or non-physical, rendezvous with you in your powerful now. It was a process called segment intending. And the segment intending process says, here's a new segment. What are my intentions for this segment? When you walk into a new space, it's a new segment. When you pick up the telephone to call someone, it's a new segment. When someone calls you, it's a new segment. When one new person walks into this room, it changes the segment for all of us. Segment intending. And at the basis of segment intending is, what do I want in this segment and why do I want it? How do I want to feel in this segment? So you get in your car and you think, time for a grid. How do I feel in my car? Comfortable, appreciative for this transportation, happy that I'm getting to go someplace. Just stay there for 17 seconds and feel appreciation for your car. Let the engine sort of catch its breath a little bit. Get yourself settled into your seat. Look in your rearview mirror and acknowledge everything that is around you. Just breathe a little bit and feel happy to be here in this moment, eager to be going somewhere. Just establish that grid and watch what happens. Sit there for 68 seconds and you can control traffic. If you think about how you love to be in your car and how it represents freedom to you and how fun it is to get to move about and how many things there are to see around and what a beautiful, delicious world you live in and how delightful it is to have mobility in this world, how nice it is to have the comfort of a car like this. You spend 68 seconds focused like that and you move out into the world, your grid will fill in with cooperative drivers, with others who are smiling. They'll wave you in. Your timing of the lights, in the same way that you can't really understand wind currents, you don't really understand the timing of those lights either at a conscious level. But as your grid fills in, your impulse of where to go, which street to go down, where to pause, what to do, you will be guided. Your grid will fill in with reactions, with impulses, with responses, with rendezvous, and you'll have really good days. You'll find parking places. Barbara has been talking to Esther about princess parking because Esther always has a parking place right up front. It's just always there. It's just always there. It's as if everyone has run ahead and just cleared the space for her. It's just always there. Always there. Not just sort of there, right there. The very best parking place in the whole possible place to be is right there waiting for Esther. Often someone backs out of it right as she arrives, or is just sitting there open. Esther can't believe it. There are people parking all around. What is going on? There's that place. Your grid is filling in. How you doing? How you doing? You happy with how it's filling in? People nice to you? Things working out? Money flowing easily? How's it filling in? You want to tweak it a little? Start a new grid right now. Start a new grid right now. Start a new grid right now. The momentum and law of attraction will take you to specific. And after you get the hang of this, then even in what feels like the grid, the general grid, you'll be in such a good feeling place that you'll be much more specific than general, but it will be general for you. You see what we're getting at?
Wow.
The rule of thumb is be as specific as you can be and still feel good.
Thank you so much. From this conversation, I really am getting a better glimpse of just how powerful I am.
How powerful you are and how powerful this moment is.
Yes.
And what your potential for rendezvousing is right here and now. It's interesting because as we talked to you all about deliberate creation, first we said focus. We said you create your own reality and you get what you think about. So pay attention to what you're thinking about. And that went along all right with you, but then you started worrying about what you were thinking about. And then we started putting emphasis on allowing. In other words, you ask, step 1, the universe supplies, step 2, and you have to line up with it, step 3. And now we're even more specifically helping you to understand this process by letting you know, yes, you do create your own reality. And people will say, well, Abraham, we're not sure what you really think we should be doing. Should we be focusing? Should we be meditating? Should we be asking? Should we be allowing? And we say, you've done enough asking really to keep yourselves busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes. You've been mixing it up. You have a vortex full of all kinds of things that you want, and your inner being has already become the vibrational equivalent of all of those things. So your work really is to relax and allow yourself to be in the vibrational vicinity. This grid conversation, here we are in this place, we've come round again with more specifics to help you to understand that your point of attraction, your point of power is right here and right now. It was one of two things that Seth said. Seth was speaking through Jane Roberts, and Jerry had been reading those books before that Jerry and Esther met us. And Seth said, you create your own reality, and that rang Jerry's bells so strongly. He loved the idea of it. He just could not imagine how that could possibly be so, because there were so many people living what they did not want to live, who he could not understand. If they create their own reality, why are they doing that to themselves? And so we've spent all of these years saying that you get what you think about. You don't get what you want. You get what you think about. When you think about what you want, you get it. When you think about the absence of what you want, you get the absence of what you want. You get what you think about. You create your own reality through your focus, you see. And then Seth said, your point of power is in the present. That made Jerry crazy with excitement. He loved feeling the control of now, but what could that possibly mean? Does that mean I stand in my now and I just focus very deliberately? Focus, carry a notebook around, do. Your point of power is in the present. So we've spent years explaining to you that you were source energy, that you come partly into this body, that here in this leading edge body you explore and you ask, and then you come into alignment with what you're asking for. But now we're wanting you to understand that you have always been this source energy that is always focused forward with you. In other words, when we talk about the power of now, when we talk about your powerful now, we're not just talking about the personality that you know as you and what you're doing as you're focused in this moment. We're talking about all that you are that is focused in this moment. We're all focused in your powerful now. We're here with you while you're having this conversation. And if you are present in your now, which means releasing the resistance that keeps you from being fully aware and therefore allowing of all that we are, then the influence of that which is us, the knowledge of that which is us, the well-being of that which is us, the clarity of that which is us, is all now you as well. We are all in this together. Do you see how we all fit together? That was our favorite conversation of the day in the evolution of the subject of the grid. Because the hunches that you get or the impulses that you get are the grid filling in. And it's really worth acknowledging that grids are going to fill in. They're going to fill in. And you want to be aware of which grid is filling in. Sometimes you can even trace it back to what you were doing or what you were thinking that got that grid going, can't you? Don't get carried away with trying to analyze your thoughts or try to remember everything that you've been thinking. But as you be sensitive to the way that you are feeling, as you are conscious of things occurring, impulses coming, as things happen, don't just consider them luck or coincidence in the way that so often you've thought of coincidence. Think of it as an incident that is co-creating, as a rendezvous that is occurring, as a law of attraction rendezvous that is coming in response to a vibration that you've got going on. It's such a wonderful thing.